Hi Rashi, welcome to India
Hi.
today. It's a
Hi,
pleasure
Neha.
to have you here.
Hi, very nice to be here.
Yeah. Firstly, before I start the conversation by asking the questions, I really want to appreciate that the trailer of Rudra looks really intriguing. There's this curiosity factor that has been generated by you and the entire team of the series.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm glad.
But what's the best feedback that you have personally received so far?
I think the fact that, firstly, I think from Isha actually, when we were shooting, there was a scene that we were shooting, and at that point, she was like, "Oh, your face doesn't look like you can pull off a character like this because it's crazy." And I think when the trailer got out, in fact, my parents actually called me and they were like, "We can't believe this is you," because I'd hidden that from them too. So I think the first thing was from them and a lot of my directors who I've worked with also. And I know DK sir also, with Raj and DK, they also messaged me. They were like, "This looks really good. What's happening? What's it all about?" And I was like, "Okay, wait for the show to come." So a lot of good feedback that I've got with whatever little that they've shown me in the trailer.
Yeah, but when the script of Rudra came to you, what were the interesting aspects about this series that intrigued you enough to take up this as your OTT debut?
Actually, firstly, it came to me as scenes because I had to audition for it.
Mhm.
And because it is a role that demands that kind of acting, probably is what I'm thinking, because they took auditions from a lot of actors. And when I read about it, I was pretty excited because I hadn't seen Luther. I haven't seen it yet still. So for me to read something like that eccentric, and it's a dream come true for any actor who wants to do something out of the box. Of course, it's not a safe boat because you don't know if it will sail across or it will just do. But I think that's what we all want as actors, and I was very intrigued when I got it. I was very excited to give the audition also, and I think I did a decent job, I guess. And that's how I got on board. I was really excited to play the character majorly. Plus the fact that it was Ajay Devgn sir and the whole, it was Disney Hotstar, which is the biggest platform, and Rajesh sir, who's the director. It was a pretty big thing to be a part of. And after that, I was narrated the whole thing, and I was like, "Oh, that'd be interesting. That'd be nice." So yeah, I mean, I was intrigued from the start about this.
But what went into preparing for your character, which seems to be dark, or how do you wish to term it?
So my character, because it's very difficult to play. Also, it's a sociopath. She's a sociopath. She's a narcissistic sociopath who thinks she's a genius, which she is. And to understand her, to get into her shoes, we don't really see everyday examples of such people around us, or even in films for that matter, because most of the films have psychopaths. Psychopaths are people who have no emotion at all. But this girl does have, like, sociopaths do have a little bit of an emotion. So for me, there was no reference point. So I had to like work on it myself. I had to create that character in my head, which was very, very exciting. So I read some books and I read some stuff about sociopaths and just trying to understand their behavior, their body language, and the fact that they are so confident and so out there, and they'll always look you in the eye. So there's a lot of work that went into creating Alia, my character. And it's nice because it really, I think I really became a better actor after going through that whole process.
Yeah. But was it kind of challenging to play a sociopath in the film?
Of course, it was.
Was-
My only thing is now, even our North audience will first see me like that character. And for me,
Yeah.
I'm even more nervous because they've never seen me before in a proper, like a film or something where, they can gauge or they can understand me as a person also. But this one is like out there and you're like, "Oh my God, like what is this character?" So I think I'm very, very nervous also. I mean, I just want to see how people receive it. But yeah, it wasn't really easy. It wasn't easy at all. Yeah.
But how was the experience, overall experience working with Ajay sir in the series?
So Ajay sir is he's a Raja. He's like this king. Like when he walks, he has this aura around him, which is very intimidating also. But I remember I was very scared on the first day, and I was like, "Oh my God!" Like, our scenes are also such that the chemistry needs to work out, and I have to be very comfortable with her to be able to do that. And he's such a big star and everything. But I remember the first day he sat me down and he just said, "Chal lines karte hain," like let's just. So he basically broke the ice for me also, and that first day was a very important day because we were shooting my introduction scene, which was quite difficult for me. And he was fully supportive right from the start. So when I met him, I think I met a co-actor, not like a superstar. That's how I felt. And I think after that, I was extremely comfortable working with him throughout. And he does that. I mean, he shines himself, but he makes sure that his co-stars also shine, which I think is a great quality.
Absolutely. But while the series seems to be is a thriller, how was the atmosphere and the sets like? And what are your fond memories from the sets of Rudra?
So I think every time I would get into that whole get-up of Alia, I would suddenly become very naughty because that's how she is. And the setup would everybody would wait for me to come because it would be like, oh, we'll do a scene with Alia today. Because it's when you see the series, you'll actually know that she's one of those entertaining factors also because you'll wait for her scenes to come, which I think is very nice. And I think I love my character in the show. So the set also, even if it's like dark and it's like a thriller kind of thing, I think you'll always have a smile on your face when my character comes in. So it was, even though the surroundings were like dark and we're like doing a thriller and all, but I think every time my character would come or every time I would come on set, it would become very like a lot of fun, which was really nice. Yeah.
That's good to hear. But also, if I have to ask you, what has been your one takeaway from this series?
My one takeaway. I think the fact that now all the big stars are also coming on the OTT platforms to promote good content is one very good thing that has happened. And my takeaway as an actor is like, I mean, I love doing a show like this, or even the one that's coming from me with Shahid and Rajan DK. The fact that as an actor you get a really detailed character written where you can work so much on it and you can build on the character, which doesn't necessarily happen in a film unless it's like only about you.
Yes.
So I think that's one thing that I really enjoyed doing while on set, and I'm really glad that these platforms like Disney Hotstar also like encouraging new talent, which I think is great. So I think it's the age of the actors. Yeah.
Absolutely. But also, just as you mentioned that you have another web show coming up with
Yes.
Shahid Kapoor. How has your experience been working with him, and what can fans expect from you in that show?
I'm not at liberty to tell you much, but yeah, I mean, of course, it's been great working with Shahid. Also, he's a fabulous actor. We all know, and you'll see a different side to him, and a different side to me. Of course, definitely very different from what I am in Rudra, and I think my fans will really, really like it. Yeah.
Absolutely. But also from an industry perspective, if I have to ask you, do you think it is because of the sudden, if it is the because of the success of Pushpa that Bollywood has finally started showing a serious interest in South cinema?
I don't necessarily think it started with Pushpa. I think it started with Bahubali actually, when suddenly everyone started looking at the South. But of course, with Pushpa, because now a new market is seen where you can dub a film in Hindi and release it because it will have a great reach. So I think finally the North and the South are actually merging, where the competition has now become like, it's become more of a thing about creating content than actually competing with each other. Now it's all about all India films, like it's Indian films and not like ye to North ki hai, South ki hai. The barrier of the language is gone thanks to our OTT platforms. The barrier is gone because now we're dubbing also in Hindi. So I think it'd be, now we should just call it the Indian film industry. Finally. Yeah.
Finally, like the Indian cinema has come
Yes.
together finally.
Yes.
But also, when you started your journey, acting journey, what were the initial challenges or say hardships that you had to face?
I think when I initially started out, I obviously didn't think I would become an actor, and I know that destiny played a huge part in me helping me come here, and I'm so thankful for it because I love my job. But initially, I had no idea about camera angles, about lighting, about so many technicalities that you have to take care of because it's literally like a job. And yeah, I mean, initially, and I just made my way towards better and more films. And I think the South actually was that platform which actually, that was the basic where I started. So I think I'm groomed to be now doing better films, as I can say. Yeah.
But thank you so much for doing this interview. It
Thank
was such a pleasure speaking with you, Raashii.
Thank you so much, Nirali. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.